You're watching Behind the Screens. Grab some popcorn, fill up a drink, and take a seat. Our feature presentation is about to begin.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you may be listening, and welcome back to another amazing episode of Behind the Screens. I'm Chris Chason, and joined as always is my co-host and best friend, Mike Lickaway. Mike, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing very well today, Chris, and I'm so happy that you guys decided to come back here for another episode of Behind the Screens for some more television talk with me and Chris.
Oh yeah, and we're slowly getting through this show again, so hey, how about another trip to Gotham City? This is like what, part 6?
This is like part 6, definitely. Part 6.
Batman, like we said, Batman the Animated Series is a long show. Why do you guys make us do this?
It's a long show with multiple parts. We promise the next few shows we do will be a lot shorter and much more easier to get through with much shorter episodes.
Here's hoping.
And of course, here's like basically the beginning of that today, folks. As we promised, I'm pretty sure we promised in the last one. If we didn't, we'll be telling you guys now. Usually we do 13 episodes a night with the series, but seeing as how we have so very few left and we want to drag this out a little tiny bit longer, instead of 13 episodes tonight, we'll only do 10. How's that?
So it won't be so bad.
Exactly. So this is basically when Batman the Animated Series decides to do a tiny little change due to the Fox executives ordering more episodes. They wanted to make Robin a more reoccurring character in the series, so they basically changed the opening sequence to be the adventures of Batman and Robin.
I guess that's okay.
And of course, something that I have been wanting to bring up this entire goddamn time we've been doing this show with the TV shows, but we've never actually done it before. I mean, I'm pretty sure we don't have to talk about it all the time. It's mostly a one-time thing. But we have to talk about the opening themes for the shows we watch.
Yes,
and
the music is amazing.
The fact of the matter is we never talked about the opening to Batman the Animated Series. The original one with the amazing orchestral done by Danny Elfman, right?
Yep, that's right.
A very amazing orchestral scene opening up to a red-skied Gotham City with blimps looking overhead, to an armed robbery in progress, a bank exploding and robbers running away into the night.
Yeah. Getting stopped by Batman.
As the very stylish Batman chases after them in the Batmobile, chasing them to the top of a building, fighting and punching them in a really amazing cartoon style. Fantastic 2D animation right there, my friends. It's honestly one of my favorite opening animations of any cartoon.
Yeah, and crazy thing is, this animation was brought over to the first Lego Batman video game.
Which, yeah, that's exactly right. Because I remember popping in that game every single day after school, playing it as soon as I got it.
Yeah. Was that which version did you play? I'm guessing you played the PlayStation 2 version.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 version.
Yeah,
the best version in my opinion.
Hey, the Wii version was not bad either.
And it's like I've not.
Yeah, you can see our video game allegiances. Yeah, he's Team Sony over here, while I bleed red with Nintendo.
Praise Sony, but
hey, at least we agree on one thing: we don't like Microsoft.
No, we don't.
Sorry to anyone who does.
Sorry.
Anyway, so shall we begin?
Yes, we do. We got 10 episodes to get through tonight, so we'll try to use our time wisely.
Let
us look into episode 66 of Batman the Animated Series, Sideshow. En route to an upstate prison, Killer Croc escapes and leads Batman on a dangerous chase through the wilderness. After throwing Batman temporarily off his trail, the Reptile Man takes refuge with a group of retired circus freaks and convinces them to help him. When Batman arrives, Croc and the freaks band together to capture him. This episode is actually loosely based on A Vow from the Grave by Denny O'Neil.
Of course.
This episode is adapted from the comic book story with the inclusion of a separate Killer Croc story, which is very strange.
You know what's weird? This show borrows a lot from mainly Dennis O'Neil comics. Is there a reason for that?
Because, mind you, contrary to popular belief, if you guys are not big into comic books, many people credit Frank Miller as being the guy that brought Batman back to the serious tone, as well as Tim Burton.
Okay, Tim Burton, yes, but Frank Miller,
maybe not. Basically, though, however, it was mainly due to the art and writing styles of Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, right?
Yeah, Neil Adams, because Neil Adams was more of the artist.
Yeah.
But Neil Adams and Dennis O'Neil teamed up to do some great comic stuff to bring Batman back, because they wrote mostly Batman stories in the Bronze Age, maybe like the early 70s, to the early 80s.
Exactly. They wanted to adapt comic book stories that people watching the show, possibly with their kids, would also enjoy, because if they were comic book fans themselves, they would have read these books and says, "Oh, I remember that when I was your age." So it's like, that's actually very, very nice.
Yeah, and so this episode is centered around Croc.
Yeah.
The one standout for me is the opening where he escapes like, there's something the brains back at the joint didn't think about. Oh yeah, what's that? Crocodiles have got the strongest jaws of any animal around.
That's exactly what I've been thinking about. You do realize he has incredibly sharp teeth, right?
Yeah, and also that is very scientifically accurate, because crocodiles' jaws,
I mean, you do not want to go anywhere near them.
Yeah, they're just as bad as sharks. They can literally bite your hand off.
Yeah. As much as I'm not a fan of Croc's design in this series, his early design anyway, I must acknowledge the very good writing that they do with him in this.
Yeah.
Because he may be more muscle than brain most of the time, but he's not an idiot.
No, he has animal instincts, and sometimes animal instincts come out on top.
It definitely works when he's able to escape the train.
Yeah, his whole escape scene is honestly... Let's be honest. Can we just agree that his train escape scene was honestly the best part of the episode?
It was definitely the highlight, and his
chase with Batman in the woods was cool too.
It was actually pretty great because we never see Batman going outside city landscapes. The city is his jungle. So if we go into Croc's jungle, he's gonna have.
So Batman escapes the concrete. So Batman trains out the concrete jungle for an actual one.
Yeah, which I mean, technically, basically he chases Croc into the mountains and the trees and everything. It's basically the set of Bambi. Basically, just chasing him over there.
Or any movie that takes place in a forest.
Yeah.
And then Croc stumbles upon these circus guys.
Yeah, which is very interesting, not gonna lie, because they are exceptionally nice.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Which is weird because other circus folks in comics are not the best.
Because it basically, if you guys ever read comic books, you'll know that those who are drawn or appear differently usually go down a different path. It's kind of what the entire industry was founded on.
Not to mention the fact Croc with circus folk is kind of a reference to the comics because
he was also in the circus too.
Right, because he was with part of a traveling carnival where he wrestled alligators for entertainment.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
A human crocodile hybrid wrestling alligators for entertainment. There's commentary in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's definitely commentary.
Yeah, but the circus people, they're okay.
Believe it or not, this is actually one of the only episodes to take place outside of Gotham City, whereas only 2 episodes in the entirety of the 109 episodes do that. Believe it or not. The second one was the second part of the Demon's Quest, which we covered last time.
Right, that's right.
Oh my goodness gracious. Now, I basically said, oh really? I'll definitely have to take a peek at all these facts later on. Going back all these things here, basically, I think that the guy who played the ringleader, the short stubby ringleader, Richard, shares the same name as King Richard III, the lead character of Shakespeare's play. Which I'm thinking to myself, that's why he's so thespian. He's based off a Shakespeare character,
right?
Which I think is pretty funny because I'm taking a Shakespeare class right now, and they do all of that. Let me believe it or not. So basically, I will say that Croc does warm up to the thought of living with the circus folk, despite the fact that they say that they got a lot of treasure. And and ultimately, he's after the treasure and the weapons. But after realizing it, he doesn't have to run anymore. He will not be judged out here. He won't be called a monster or stupid or a freak of nature.
Right.
Because, truth be told, exactly as the Penguin showed us in Birds of a Feather several episodes ago, society can be awful to you. If you don't fit into the cookie cutter areas of society, they will rip you to shreds instantly. But out here, Croc could have finally found peace. He could have finally have been normal given enough time. But of course, Batman and the police have to close in and spoil all his fun.
I love Batman. Why does he have to be a buzzkill sometimes? Jeez!
I mean, technically, Croc is a cannibal.
But that's different. But still, he has feelings.
Ish. Not really.
Ish.
I'm just saying, Croc is just a character who's been beaten down by society to the point where he's deadened himself to his emotions and sees himself more as an animal than anything else.
Yeah.
Eventually, Batman convinces the circus folk of that too, and they turn on him. They have a massive fight in the cabin before the police show up, and it is pretty engaging, but I feel like it just goes on for too long.
Yeah, so we don't have much to say about this episode.
No,
Except,
I mean,
it's
I
only
will
the
say-
first part that's the highlight.
Yeah, the ending though, it really does ring true when the kid, because there's a kid with the circus folk.
Of course,
basically, when he looks up at Croc saying, "Why did he attack that man? He could have lived with them and been just like them." But then, he repeats what they told him when he first arrived. You can be exactly who you are out here, and that's exactly what he was doing, which shows that whatever little semblance of humanity Croc thought he had left, the monster swallowed it up a long time ago.
Yeah, so now Waylon Jones is basically transformed into a mindless monster.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say mindless. It's just like an actual reptile man. So I'm
Fair
essentially
enough.
saying.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, this episode was good. Not
It
gonna
was
lie.
okay.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed a good chunk of it.
Yeah, so rating it very quickly, I thought it was okay. The circus people, they were fine. The only real good stuff was the highlights, like Croc escaping from the train and Batman chasing him. Other than that, the episode was the best run-of-the-mill and okay at best. So honestly, rating it, I give this episode a low score, maybe a 7.5.
Dang, man! I thought that it was very good. Honestly, even though it was a bit slow in places in the predictable areas of where you knew the story was going to go, especially since you knew Croc was going to try and steal the gold, you knew Batman was eventually going to catch him. I did like seeing where the story was taking Croc in a direction we don't usually see his character ever go in these shows,
right?
Or these different movies, or basically stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's the episode that got me to recognize that Croc is a sympathetic figure, one of the lesser ones of Batman, but of course, nonetheless.
Yeah.
I'd have to give episode 66 of Batman the Animated Series, Sideshow, a letter B grading.
not bad.
Yep. Okay, let's go on to number 67, A Bullet for Bullock.
Oh boy.
Someone has put a hit out on Gotham's toughest cop, Harvey Bullock. After surviving several near misses, Bullock realizes he has no choice but to ask his arch rival, the Batman, to help him discover who is behind the murder attempts. During their investigation, Bullock learned that his gruff and mean-spirited manner has created enemies in the unlikeliest of people.
Yeah. So, I like how the episode is trying to basically Bullock basically begging the Batman for his protection.
I know, because for the last 67 episodes, even in the very first pilot episode that we did for this podcast, Bullock was all about bringing down the Batman, being his worst enemy and not trusting him at every turn. In this episode, he knows that there's nobody else at all other in Gotham that can keep him safe other than the Batman.
Yeah. Before we go into more details here, I would just like to say, and Mike can attest to this, I really do not like the ending of this episode.
No, because I was very surprised he didn't like who the culprit was. We'll get to that as we go through the story once we get to the ending.
Yeah.
The episode is actually based off a comic book of the same name from Detective Comics, number 651, written by Chuck Dixon.
What was
Very
that?
good stuff.
When did that come out? I feel like it came out in the 80s.
October 92. This was actually it was actually a very recent comic book, believe it or not.
How about that?
They actually adapted a very recent issue.
Yeah.
The episode actually won a daytime Emmy in 1996 for Outstanding Music Direction.
There it is.
Saying that this episode has some of the best music in the entire series.
I can see that, because some of the music tracks kind of stuck with me a little when watching the episode.
Exactly. The episode really gives us an insight into Harvey Bullock's personal life.
We don't really see it a lot.
No, I'm pretty sure this is the only time. The roach-infested motel, his really weirdish landlord that he kind of uses as a doormat, which is honestly really funny.
Weirdest landlord. Kind of reminds me of that weirdest landlord from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, for real though. But except, look, that guy was actually endearingly funny.
That's true.
In that Marvel sense. But then of course we see the driving plot point of the episode. Someone is trying to kill Bullock for a past misdeed he did, and it could be anything because Bullock is a douche to everybody.
Yeah, he's not very likable.
No, but he's funny.
That's true. Yeah, he's like the bumbling oaf you can't help but love.
I know, and that's exactly what this episode is like. He realizes that Batman can help him track down which of the people he's made upset in his past is out to get him, and he thinks it's this run-of-the-mill crime boss that he busted a while back for something or other.
Yeah, and you think that, but nope.
I really do think that the standout moment of the episode, at least one of them anyway, was when he goes to Summer Gleason for some files on all the people that he put away. And I do like that we see her actually not be happy for a change. She's actually allowed to be angry because like she's not.
So she does have emotion. I knew it.
And it's all for Harvey Bullock because he hounded her for stuff. She can't trust him anymore. And even when she gives him one last chance, he ruins that too, trying to get the files for Batman on who this mystery person might be. And it's such a shame too, because as much as I love Bullock's antics, this guy seriously needs a friend. I'm really glad. I'm honestly glad that he has a few people near him, like Montoya, possibly Gordon, the rookies, Batman. I just want to give this man a handshake and say, you are a very good cop. I want to be just like you. Okay, a little bit of a side story right there. I actually tuned into a Batman the Animated Series cast reunion for GalaxyCon a while back.
Oh, yeah, right.
Seeing all the different actors like Kevin Conroy and the actor of Harvey Bullock there as well, like streaming in. That's when I ordered my autographed copy of Kevin Conroy's signature.
Yeah,
online.
I saw it myself. He's lucky.
And seeing Harvey Bullock's actor in this day and age, he's a very eccentric person, even in his growing cuckoo in his old age.
Really?
He was kind of dribbling on about stuff that was not really answering the questions the fans were asking. But like of course, you can guess he's like 75 or 80. You can't expect him to stay on point with those questions.
That's true.
Because like he was having a grand old time nonetheless. But then of course, when it seems like the hits are finally done, Batman brings Bullock back to his apartment, and we see the real culprit, the person who actually is the one trying to kill him. The landlord. It was so funny. It's like, what? You? Oh my goodness. Oh my god. And the reasoning is fantastic. Because Bullock got the mat dirty in the lobby. Oh my god. It's like, this dude is a clean freak, okay? This dude likes everything spit spot, and I love about how it's just because the doorman, like the landlord's speech upon being found out is honestly really deep, kind of creepy and disturbing. Like basically saying is how if he had killed Bullock, they would have thanked him, hell, paid him, and given him a medal, a statue in City Park, because people like Bullock are a menace to society. Like, it's just like, wow, like no one would have thrown him away, no one would have jailed me for it, nobody. It's like, oh my god, I love this ending. This episode is amazing. I so wish that Paul Dini had written this episode. It feels so much up his alley. But no, he didn't. And somehow it ended up being this good. Oh my god. Are you done?
I'm sorry, it's just, no. This is just, that ending, just, no.
No,
I feel like if Paul Dini wrote it, I probably would have cut a little more slack, but no. Just, this is ridiculous.
You didn't like that the landlord was trying to kill him?
I mean, if it was written in a different way, sure.
Yeah.
The reasoning, I guess. But the way he said it just didn't feel right with me. Because, like, that's just too, he was just acting too eccentric. And I was, like, too insane for my own own liking.
You didn't like his statements of nobody would have blamed me if I killed you?
I'm like, yeah, but there's still a justice system at work, dude.
I know, but it's like, I don't know how to feel about it because I'm having too much fun watching this guy go crazy.
Yeah, you have fun with that. I'm more worried about my own insanity after seeing that.
My own sanity. We can all be happy that at the end of the episode, Bullock and Batman are finally friends. Like, they will never be the best of friends, but it's like they finally learned to get along with each other.
So,
after 67 episodes, a really great mystery with a real gut punch ending that's sure to get everybody. If you want to show your kids this and have them experience a fun Batman episode for the first time, please do.
Just don't bring me along for it.
No, just don't bring my partner along for it with it. How would you rate this episode?
Minus that ending, it's a really good episode.
Awesome.
Like Bullock going to Batman, and now they're finally respecting each other. I like that. That's good character growth.
Yeah.
But minus that ending, I think this episode is good. It explores Bullock's character, his growing hatred, but now newfound respect towards Batman, and the whole mystery of it all. I love me a good mystery, and this was a good episode, a good example of it. Now, minus the ending, which I really don't want to rant about anymore, I would have to rate this episode as Pretty good. So at best, I give it like maybe 8.5 out of 10. Almost a 9.
That's very, very solid. Not gonna lie about this. Now, basically, for an episode that shows Detective Bullock's reluctance to ask his arch enemy for assistance in a case, it's honestly so fun to just see Bullock and Batman go on an amazing buddy cop adventure through the night.
Is it weird I want to see a buddy cop animated movie with the two of them?
No, I honestly wouldn't. Like
Yeah,
this was fine for 22 minutes, but anything past that, maybe nada. Now, you
Fair
gotta love the jokes were funny. The insight into Bullock's character and otherwise amazing side stories with him was always enjoyable for me to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I would hecka watch this episode any single day of the week, and as such, a bullet for Bullock for me gets a B+ letter ranking.
Yeah, at least you're a little easier on it than me.
Yeah, for once, right? But then, of course, thankfully, we have one of the best episodes of. Honestly, everybody will understand about this episode being very much beloved. Episode 68 of Batman the Animated Series, Trial.
Oh, yes!
With, of course, story by none other than Paul Dini and Bruce Timm himself.
Thank God! And also, Paul Dini, how come he didn't write the last episode?
Yep, I don't even know why.
Alright, let's just get to go before I start getting pissed again.
Gotham's new DA, Janet Van Dorn, is out to capture Batman, but both she and him end up captured by some of Batman's main villains instead, after a prison riot at Arkham Asylum. They are soon put on kangaroo court by the Joker, the judge, Two-Face, the prosecutor, the ventriloquist, the bailiff, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, the Mad Hatter, Killer Croc, the Scarecrow, and Riddler are the jury, in front of all the other criminals held at Arkham. If the defense, Batman and the DA, can prove that Batman is not the cause for everyone's turn to crime, they will be set free. When the jury gives the verdict of not guilty, the villains have a little intention of following through on their deal, however.
My God, this episode is awesome.
I know.
It was like the first 5 minutes into the episode, I was hooked. I wanted to watch until the end because, like you get Janet Van Dorn, who honestly, let's just say, even though we didn't see much of his DAing, she does it a lot better than Harvey.
You want me
to some degree.
I wouldn't say better. She does it more seriously. She doesn't have as many.
Okay, that's fair.
She doesn't have as many openings to be taken down.
That's fair.
The way that Harvey did.
Unlike Harvey, she doesn't trust Batman at first.
No, which is honestly crazy to see.
Yeah, but the thing is, the whole trial is honestly one of the best parts of anything related to Batman because you've got, like you said, Two-Face is the prosecutor, which makes sense.
Yeah.
The ventriloquist is the bailiff or anything, but the Joker as the judge. Good lord, that is hilarious.
No, wait, he's judge, Joker, and executioner.
Oh! I get it.
Yeah. Right?
But why Harley as the... Okay, so Harley, Ivy, Scarecrow, Riddler, Croc, and Mad Hatter are the jury.
Yeah.
Yet they're also called to the witness stand. That shows you that this jury is biased.
I had no... You know what? I never put that stuff together.
Because as far as I know, in terms of the court system, jurors are not supposed to be up to the witness stand.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would think. Well, I mean, technically, the jurors are the victims, too.
Well, yeah, but you gotta keep in mind... Yeah.
Like, I love it how, okay, Batman is having a fight with the new DA, right?
Right.
And how she doesn't trust him as much as Harvey does, which has got to be stirring some feelings in Batman's utility belt right there.
What?
And, basically... Batman goes to answer a distress call, but it turns out to be Harley and Ivy ready to kidnap him and the new DA.
You go, girls.
When they're like, go take it to the asylum.
Yeah.
I love the scene when Two-Face looks his predecessor, or successor in the eye, to eye, and basically tell her what's going on. Is like, I'm talking about a trial. I'm the prosecutor. You're the defense, and your client is Batman. That's a perfect scene.
And can I just say, I love Janet Van Dorn because she is one of those women who takes no crap.
She doesn't take anything.
She takes her job seriously, even though she's defending who's pretty much considered an insane man.
Yes, like, I love Helic Sheep. I mean, I might know that she's one of those stereotypical 90s women in a pantsuit. That's like always got to be stern about everything.
But she does look good.
I'm going to make my stance right here. Women in pantsuits are not my favorite thing in the world.
Really?
Like, basically, I don't know. It's like pantsuits put me off somehow.
That's
like...
Well, before we go on, it's not supposed to be sexist, is it?
I mean, like, I don't know. But basically, it's like every time that I see a woman in pantsuit in fiction, it's like, oh, God, here we go.
Well, I mean, it's not
I know
always
exactly
right.
what's going to do. She's she's going to open her mouth and something bad's going to come out. Here we go. I know it. But you know
I feel
what?
like the only exception to that
is
Lois. Janet and
Lois.
Yeah, Lois Lane.
Okay, yeah, those two exceptions.
You were saying?
But then, of course, like Batman tells her it's all a game, just play along and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
All the while because he slipped a note to the police people telling them exactly where to go because he left something there when he was captured.
Yeah.
Now they know exactly
and during
what's
the
going
trial,
on.
the fact she basically was she's like Batman. She got under the villain's skin and made them and kind of said something against them that made her think that Batman really isn't the person causing them to be that insane.
Exactly. We gotta basically talk about it step by step. As soon as they sit, they booty cheeks down. Guilty!
I didn't do anything yet.
Oh, fine. Like it'll make a difference.
Joker's the best.
Mr. Prosecutor. Like
opening statement.
I would love it if we could see, like, if not a skit for Comic-Con, but like a Saturday Night Live-esque YouTube video of Mark Hamill and like Kevin Conner and maybe a few of the other actors reprising their roles.
That'd be awesome.
It's like they tells Two-Face to do his opening statement, saying that look at us, we're all freaks and monsters, and who made us that way? Batman. Like they all basically make their opening statement that Batman was the reason they went insane.
Yeah, and the
Batman
jurors
is
say
the
that.
reason
I'm
they're
like,
here.
oh god, you guys are biased.
But then, of course, they don't really go through all of the jurors' stories.
No, the only major,
the
only major ones they go through are Harley, Mad Hatter,
and Poison Ivy.
Right. The rest, like nothing about Riddler, nothing about Croc. I feel like they would have done Scarecrow, but I remember that Scarecrow's actor had laryngitis or something.
Yeah, basically, Henry Pollock II, the Scarecrow's voice actor, was recuperating from throat surgery during the episode's production. So his character was given no dialogue as soon as the script was finished. So, also, Van Dorn mentions in this episode that Harley was once a doctor at Arkham before the Joker corrupted her mind. Something that Paul Dini would later use to write her backstory.
We'll get to that soon.
So basically, we go through first of all the Mad Hatter, going back to the episode.
Oh my god, that brings me up to one of my favorite moments in the episode. Can I have that stricken from the record, please?
Record.
Is someone supposed to be writing this stuff down?
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
oh god,
that's funny. When we go back to Mad as a Hatter, which I do remember now is actually very clever because Paul Dini.
Yeah, Paul Dini wrote it.
Yeah, basically saying is how Mad Hatter's motivation was that the woman he loved rejected him because he was crazy. It's like, but of course blames Batman because without Batman she would have loved him eventually. Like,
right, that's how it works.
He made me do it. He was going to take her away from me. I had no choice. And it's basically said, though, you could have done the reasonable thing and respected her wishes and let her go.
But no, you decided to hypnotize her.
I would have killed her first. Now, this thing is because Jervis Tetch does not intimidate me at all.
No, he's he's a midget. He's short, right? He's like, what, 5'2", 5'3"?
Not really in this show for the most part. But
no, in other incarnations, he's shorter than Batman.
Yeah, because
as far as I know, Batman is like 6'2".
Yeah,
if Jervis Tetch is standing next to Batman,
he's like 5'4".
Yeah, Jervis reaches about Batman's waist or his chest.
Yeah, definitely. Believe it or not, even when I was watching the Batman 60s show, Jervis Tetch never terrified me.
No, Mad Hatter's like, sure he does something scary, but he doesn't give you nightmares.
Yeah,
that's Scarecrow's job.
A little bit of a fun tidbit right there. Like, even though that Mad Hatter was featured in one of the episodes of Batman the Animated Series, it really had nothing to do with Alice in Wonderland. He was just stealing people's hats for no reason. He just came up to people in public and stole their hats.
That's
and ran away.
Yeah, because that's the 60s show. Because it was also, not that.
Yeah, but then of course that amazing performance by Mad Hatter. Next up is Harley Quinn, and honestly my favorite part of the episode.
That part was great. But I mean, what about Ivy's bit?
No, like we got to talk about Harley's part more.
Oh yeah, right.
We got to talk about how.
And during all this, Harley is wearing Batman's utility belt.
Oh, it's like,
that's cheating.
She wasn't sensual enough already. Now I want her to actually wear the belt more often. It's like, damn.
I feel like there are comics where Batman is captured by Joker and Harley, and Batman doesn't have his belt. I feel like in one of those instances, 9 times out of 10, Harley's wearing the belt.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, what she says that she thanks Batman for creating the Joker. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I guess.
That's great, because she loves him so much, right? But then we learned that.
And then what Janet said, I'm like,
okay. So basically, he ratted Harley out for time off. and that is fantastic.
And she loses it.
It's like-
she literally grabs Joker and she's like, "You lousy Scott-sucking creep!" And Joker, "Wait, this is excuse." And Harley is livid.
Okay. The fucking crowd, everybody in the asylum just starts laughing, and like I like to personally think that the laugh was coming from everybody outside the sound booth.
I'm sure like Paul Dini and Bruce Timm and Andrea Romano, when they were looking into the show, like seeing this scene, they were probably laughing in their chairs
we need
like,
laughter
yes.
elsewhere. It's like, oh my goodness, it's like...
Yeah, and I mean, Harley is ticked at this, and it literally takes Killer Croc to take her away, and I'm like,
from the
yikes!
stand. It's like, when she yells, "I'll kick the grin off your silly face," I'm thinking to myself, it must be true love. That or some kind of sick fetish. One or the other. One or the other. And then we cut to Poison Ivy's confessional.
Interesting.
It's honestly a bit more cut and dry because really Batman honestly had nothing to do with her becoming Poison Ivy. She was always evil.
Yeah, so technically...
And I love how Miss Dorn takes it upon herself to make her lose it because Ivy is definitely one of the most calming voice actresses of the entire cast, honestly.
Yeah, very.
Her actress does a very phenomenal job of downplaying it. She's actually a very nice lady in real life when I saw her I saw her on the panel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because
and
like the way she accentuated Ivy's voice. Because like an equivalent to that is Taja Valenza, who voices her in the Arkham games.
True.
Like
yeah.
when you hear Poison Ivy's voice, you get this feeling, and what she says, like her motivation through her voice, you like say, you feel sorry for her.
Yeah, I know.
But
she picks her words very nicely. And we see Miss Van Dorn kills a rose right in front of her.
And she loses it.
Like, mind you, it's on like Joker's collar. So it's basically... That's like your whole motivation, right? Kill off mankind so plant kind can live forever is like exactly right. But then it sees like the criminals that you're working with are also killing the insects. The people you call friends are also the murderers you're trying to fight.
So
it really makes a deep connection with Poison Ivy. She has to choose between her cause and relationships, and it honestly is very much troubling to see.
Yes, it is.
And then of course Ivy also loses it, but then it actually, Miss Van Dorn has an epiphany after that. After hearing the ramblings of all these maniacs in colored costumes, thinking this crap is normal. Because that's the thing about it is because, like, we've gone through 68 episodes of this show, spent hours speaking into this gosh darn microphone about all of this, and it's only taken me now to realize she's right. She's the normal people. She's like us walking in. She's like the critics that think that superhero shit is boring because it's grown-ass people running around in costumes blowing up buildings. But now she's seeing, otherwise, like, in the plot and outside of the plot. Outside the plot, she's seeing, okay, this stuff is actually intellectual if you look at it from a specific angle.
Yeah.
In the story, she's seeing, I thought that Batman was creating the problem. But no, the problem was already there.
Batman is just trying to fix it.
Exactly.
Yo, you guys are really nuts.
I know, and that's exactly what
That's
happens.
the best way to describe. That's the best way to describe her epiphany. She looks at them and is like, "You guys are actually nuts."
And that's exactly what happens. The testimony actually can. Okay. Before we get to the Joker testimony, can I say how funny it was when Scarface whistled at Poison Ivy when she was being dragged away from the stand?
I'm like, yikes!
Ooh, baby, you're pretty when you're mad.
And also, I'm like, how can you make a puppet whistle? You can't unless you're a really good ventriloquist.
He's a really good ventriloquist. I love that. It's like, baby, it's like, I know people will be saying it's like, oh, they're very sexualized in their costumes. Dang, let men have something. Oh my gosh.
And then Joker's testimony.
Joker basically makes the closing statement how their testimony was successful. They did convince them that Batman had nothing to do with it. They themselves screwed up their own rotten lives. Each of them had bad parents, or bad jobs, bad bosses, bad boyfriends, or were just born into this world mad. But then,
it takes one bad day.
Even after they got the not guilty verdict, we are going to waste you anyway.
Yes, so they didn't even need to do this. They literally grab Batman and drag him away.
And it's such a weird scene too because I want to laugh so hard, but they're literally being dragged away to the electric chair.
I'm like, well, to be fair though, you gotta keep in mind, this is the 90s we're dealing with.
Only Paul Dini can make something as inhumane as execution into a goddamn comedy hour.
Well, it was the 90s. Anything could have been
God.
radicalized and it was normal.
But then, of course,
before they do that,
they have to take the mask off. But then, of course,
but they didn't.
They didn't because the power goes out. Okay, is anybody ready to panic now? I do like that because they're so confident. All the villains surround Batman in the electric chair. And then they go to take the mask off. Batman cuts the power, gets out, and starts beating up all the bad guys.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's so funny, of course, saving the Joker for last.
Because of course we do.
Because I really do like the analogy of them always fighting, taking a leap of faith every single time they fought on top of the roofs of Arkham.
Yeah.
I really do like the very big metaphor of their constant fighting. The law can say whatever it wants, Batsy. You and I will be fighting for eternity after eternity.
Well, makes sense.
Which is actually so true. But then, of course, the police come in, they restrain the inmates, and, of course, Janet leaves the asylum with a clearer vision in mind, hoping to help Batman make a better Gotham for the future.
And respects him?
Yes.
All right.
Trial was amazing.
Yeah, so, you could tell we really loved this episode.
One more fact before we get into our final reviews about it. This was actually supposed to be an animated movie following the already established theatrical animated film for Batman the Animated Series, Mask of the Phantasm.
Really?
However, they didn't feel like they were going to be able to get all of the villain backstories, because, mind you, we've only heard of the villain backstories, but the movie was going to show each of the jurors and possibly even a little bit of the glimpse of the Joker's backstory into stuff that was not previously seen in the show, like stuff with Harvey, Ivy, Scarecrow, all of that stuff.
Wow.
Stuff and material that had not been seen in the show thus far was going to be featured there. But of course, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini realized that they weren't going to be able to extend this to 70 minutes. They were only going to be lucky enough to get it to 22.
And they did.
Which they did
and
just fine.
It just works better as an episode than a movie.
Exactly. So how would you say?
Oh my god, this episode is like I said, for the first few minutes, I was hooked. The fact that Batman is literally on trial, which I don't think has ever been done before.
No.
And how unique, how basically it gives the viewer, the young kids, an epiphany, even right from the start. They're thinking, yeah, these guys are really nuts.
And
definitely. It's not Batman's fault. And Janet Van Dorn having that epiphany makes me believe, yeah. So it proves that they can agree with Batman and they know that he's right. And the fact that she respects him now, I just love that. And the fact the whole trial is just amazing, and it's just funny to watch.
Funny as heck, honestly.
Yeah, so rating it all, Trial is one of my favorite episodes of Batman the Animated Series. I'd watch it over and over again. And honestly, in terms of rating, I give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Yes, very much so. This episode is one for the comic book ages. A true dive into Batman's villain psychology, as well into how others view superhero comics in general. Honestly, I would definitely say that if you love Batman, there is no doubt in my mind you will love this episode. The twists and turns, the unbearable laughs, you will be laughing from beginning to end, my friends. Trial is one that you will not feel bad about watching it all. So I have to give episode 68 of Batman the Animated Series, Trial, a letter A grading.
Oh yeah.
Top tier, my friends. But now we must take a personal slight downish, my friends, unfortunately, as we go into episode 69, Avatar.
Oh boy.
A mystic, pardon me, my friends, that was too ridiculous of a sentence to say in the first go. A mystic Egyptian scroll donated to the Gotham Museum by Bruce Wayne is stolen by Ra's al Ghul, and Batman and Talia must join forces to prevent the power-mad Ra's from unlocking the scroll's secrets of life and death. Their quest takes them to a hidden temple deep beneath the Egyptian desert. There, the Dark Knight is forced into a terrifying battle with an ancient Egyptian sorceress.
Huh.
What?
What just happened?
Okay, so, to be fair, Ra's al Ghul makes his reappearance after the amazing two-parter The Demon's Quest. We gave that special a really high mark, and then they do this with him.
So, we went from a fun mock trial at an insane asylum to, what is this?
Yeah, I don't even know. Honestly, the fact of the matter is, this episode is very, very strange. I mean,
yeah.
Because like, mind you though, this episode is very unique for like many different reasons. I mean, yes, it has. I mean, I do like the Egyptian feel of it. I've always been a big fan of Egyptian styling and methodology.
Yeah, some Egyptian mystery and all that, and Egyptian culture is interesting to learn.
Definitely so. Basically, okay, so there's stuff about this that makes the episode very, very interesting to, like, you'll say the least, with Batman and Talia being forced to team up to stop Ra's, which shows that Talia does care for Bruce despite her commitment to her father's mission, but shows that Ra's has fully moved on from wanting to bring Batman into the fold and simply just wants power and to live forever and junk like that.
Yeah.
It really just shows that even though Ra's is supposedly one of Batman's deadliest of enemies, he's very, very shallow.
I can't deny that he is shallow. That even goes for Liam Neeson's version of Batman Begins.
But of course, I love Liam Neeson so much.
You can't go wrong with him.
Oh my goodness. I must say, it's like showing off. I don't really remember that much about this episode, honestly.
Me neither.
Stuff is like I know that Batman and Talia team up to do all this stuff to basically track down Ra's as he gets a scroll to go into an underground temple. Unlocks a sorceress with the gift of immortality if she does some stuff. She makes some really scary, slimy monsters that come out of nothing. She's basically all bony, like her. The illusion of beauty is just that, an illusion. But like, mind you, she is actually dangerous. She is very dangerous. Not gonna lie. As like Batman and Talia have to fight Ra's al Ghul's guys in order to stop him from getting the sorceress's powers and like unleashing it on all that. Batman leaves Ra's in the care of Talia once the sorceress is defeated. I should definitely point out, Batman does kill the sorceress. So basically, Batman does take a life in this episode. I mean, some would argue that since like she was already dead once, since she's technically undead, maybe it counts. But then again, she was brought back to life and then killed again by Batman.
Well. And yet you said that differently about Dracula, because we've been watching the 2004 Batman series, and that included this movie, The Batman vs. Dracula.
Yeah.
And you could debate whether or not Batman killed Dracula there. This guy thinks that doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. But of course, like then again, I'm only just reading what the notes say. I'll be saying it's very distinct to adventures such as Raiders of the Lost Ark and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
and that's an iconic movie.
I know
it's like the quintessential of adventure film.
Yeah, it's basically doing what many other filmmakers and television stars have done before, just for children. That's basically what it is. If you want a child version of Raiders of the Lost Ark, this episode is that. It's terrifying and dark. It's like it's kind of like watching Brendan Fraser's The Mummy.
But at least that's a little better than whatever this was.
Yeah, it's basically like referencing all like old mummy movies and stuff like that. Basically, a major homage to what came before. Just sorry to say, we've seen it all before.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but this episode was a bit cliched.
Yeah,
not that memorable.
Yeah, not that bad though.
No, it's not awful.
You want to know what's actually funny though? The sorceress. I could be wrong. I need to look up the name of the sorceress really quick, which is actually really funny. Yes, it was. Okay, the woman that plays the sorcerer is Nicole Nichols, who was the African-American actress on the original Star Trek series back in the 60s. One of my father's favorite shows back in the day.
How about that?
Basically, I think that she was one of the first mainstay black actors in anything. Back in the day, because Star Trek was all about promoting diversity in the cast of television.
That's true, yes.
Promoting the first Asian, Black, Scottish, Russian actors to mainstream TV.
Yeah.
It was honestly really great. So yeah, even though this episode has been a been there, done that, it's not the worst episode of the series. But
the best way to describe this episode is run of the mill.
Yeah, basically. So how would you rate it?
Given the fact that it's run-of-the-mill, I give it a run-of-the-mill score. Meaning, I give it maybe like a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10, yeah. If like this episode had a few more things going for it, and maybe had a few more twists and turns, aside from the tired formulas of Batman holding on to Talia by his arm, being the big adventurous guy, swooshing in to save the day. Because I definitely would have given this episode a little bit of a higher rating, but unfortunately I have to give it an average score, as well as the teaching personality that I am. Hopefully if you guys see this episode, that you'll enjoy the The Egyptian aesthetic, the very scary fight scene at the end, the twists and turns that Batman and Ra's take to uncover the treasure, and then the very interesting ways they take the story. I have to give episode 69 of Batman the Animated Series, Avatar, a letter C+ grading.
That's fitting.
Very, very, very good C+, just right smack dab in the middle. Okay, time for episode 70, House and Garden, written by Paul Dini.
Oh no.
Okay, here we go. Not only has Poison Ivy been released from Arkham Asylum, but she's also married to her doctor and settled down to help him raise his 2 sons. It would appear that Ivy has gone straight and that her old days as a criminal are gone.
How about that?
But wealthy bachelors are being struck down by an unknown toxin, leaving Batman to question Ivy's innocence.
Yeah, this episode is weird.
It's so weird, but so good.
It's okay.
I thought it was so freaking weird because it had me second guessing myself, and I never second guess myself when watching stories.
Are you sure your Paul Dini bias isn't leaking in?
No, because even though I think that he's one of the best writers of this show and of 90s Batman in general, maybe even that of a little bit of the early 2000s Batman as well, I do love the amazing twist this story went with. Honestly, for having all of the different ways in which we see Poison Ivy, someone who is irrevocably irredeemable for the very most part, honestly. Basically, a character who is so dead set on her mission. The fact of the matter is that she is just so easily swayed back into the ways of normalcy. It's honestly just so surreal to be able to see that.
Yeah.
And to see someone like her seemingly be happy for once, to finally find peace
I don't
and
mind Ivy
tranquility.
going straight, but I mean, I still want her to do her goal of saving the environment, but not as a eco-terrorist way. And this seemed a good way to do it. And then this episode happens, and I'm like, yikes.
Yo, but I'm basically seeing as how, okay, so there are plant monsters attacking billionaires in Gotham City.
Yeah,
and
Bruce gets attacked by one,
I'm
right?
pretty sure he gets attacked and Robin has to save him.
Of course.
But then basically saying, there's plant monsters attacking people in Gotham City.
Makes
Who
you
could
think.
be doing this? Oh, wait, there's this Pamela Isley over there.
Let's ask, hey, Pammy, did you unleash a plant monster? What are you talking about?
And then basically, they go to interrogate her. Everything seems on the level. Everything is perfectly fine until they see a lot of discrepancies with her story when Dick realizes that, she's married to the doctor that she was seeing at the asylum. He knows the doctor because Dick has seen him in college sometimes.
He gave lectures at the college?
I'm pretty sure he saw him around campus bringing his children there and stuff. Basically Batman saying, he brought his sons to the college. Bruce, that doctor has 2 daughters. It's
I'm like, no. I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, wait. Unless... Oh, no.
And then that's when we realize, everything has gone wrong. The happy home is not happy anymore.
No.
Batman and Robin go into the greenhouse, because obviously if Poison Ivy's going to be hiding anything, it's in a greenhouse.
Well,
and, they go down into the greenhouse to basically find out what's going on in there.
It turns out that
they find out the lab. She's using the DNA of the doctor. Okay, so the doctor inside the house is a cloned plant hybrid that she uses her blood and his DNA to make. And basically the fact of the matter is she's been making dozens of plant babies using her DNA and his DNA. Want to know why? The toxins that give her superpowers, her uterus is screwed. She has no uterus no more.
Yeah, the reasoning, I guess, makes sense, but it's also really, really weird.
But it's so accurate because if you were exposed to that many hazardous chemicals, your body would never work the same anymore.
That's fair.
I'm not going to add in this tidbit because it's, we got to keep this podcast relatively sane, but I'll be keeping it to myself for maybe a future episode. Let's just say her body may have changed in more ways than one. But it is very tragic though to see it because she really wanted to go straight before before confining to this life. She can't have children the natural way, so why not just make them her own way? Unfortunately, they die after a few days and she has to make new ones.
That must suck.
It's gotta hurt too, because when you look into the eyes of a child, I've like never held that many babies before in my life.
Me neither.
But I know when I eventually do, I know it's gonna be like something that I will never be able to replicate. And the fact of the matter is that she has to keep bringing her dead fake babies back to life every 2 or 3 days. Like, if she wasn't messed up already, she's got to be beyond breaking now.
Yeah, I feel like this made Ivy more insane than we thought.
I mean, if not more insane, then definitely more lost than ever before. Which of course brings to like the big fight between the kids, the big plant babies inside the house. It's like, oh my god, this is turned into a monster movie. This is turned into something crazy.
A B-list monster movie.
And I love it too because Batman already prepared for this. He already knew this stuff was gonna happen.
Well, because Batman.
He's already knew all of it, so he somehow rigged the water sprinklers with planticide, like planticide or whatever.
Weed killer.
And you'll basically kill all the plant children. And the weird enough thing too, the biggest twist is when they would go to arrest Ivy. The Ivy they've been talking to this whole time was also a plant clone. It's like, oh my god, she was never here.
That part is why.
Oh my god, it's fantastic.
That part was the weirdest part for me.
Oh my god! And then when we get to the end of the episode, we realize that Ivy's on a plane leaving Gotham, presumably forever.
Yeah, no.
Well, because I actually do have my own theory, but of course I can't share it till we get later on in the series. But so apologies, my friends. Basically, Batman's ending narration shows that Poison Ivy, Pamela Isley, was never able to live the life she always wanted, so she wanted to make it herself by force if necessary, and unfortunately just ended up hurting way more people. We do think that deep down she wanted to change, but sometimes people are just beyond reform due to unfortunate circumstances that are out of control.
It's like a small part of humanity is starting to claw back.
Well, I mean, it's like a little part of her is in there, but it'll never push past the crabgrass. Crabgrass? It'll never push past the crabgrass.
What is that? Is that like a joke or something?
Because like you never heard of crabgrass on like lawns, like
no.
it's like okay.
Is it like that deep grass?
No, it's like I'm not really sure how to like describe it. Think of it as like a like the worst weed imagical. Think of it like that. Like her looking through family photos that she took with the clones and stuff like that. It's so tragic because if there's one thing I will always love Paul Dini for, it's making tragic characters out of the most unlikable of people.
I guess.
And it's so gosh darn good.
Yeah.
This episode was fantastic.
I'd be lying if I said that.
Oh.
But I don't think it's bad. I just think most of it is just so weird.
Really?
The fact okay, to be fair though, the reasoning I get, but it's just I feel like that's taking it to the wrong extreme. If I'm being honest,
Really?
I feel like if Paul Dini rewrote it a little bit, I could cut it a little more slack. But as is, it's at best like an okay episode, and I don't regret watching it. But there's a part of me thinking, yikes, I bet if I have kids, I better be wary when showing them this episode.
Yeah,
Yikes.
definitely. I'd be
so
very, very
at
careful.
best, I'd have to give this episode around like an 8 out of 10.
Ooh, okay, my friend. Now, personally, with me, I love Paul Dini to the moon and back. As you've seen in these many episodes of Behind the Screens, his ability to turn tragic characters into such sympathetic figures, as well as putting a little laugh and giddy on top of it with some very natural dialogue. I have to say, I was actually rooting for Poison Ivy. Even though I don't really do it as often, this series really did change my mind about her. Because honestly, when I was younger, I saw characters like Poison Ivy and Catwoman as nothing but living dolls, models to be drooled over and dreamed about after midnight. But then, of course, episodes like this got me to consider maybe there's more to them than a very nice curvy figure. Maybe there's more to them than long, flowing black, brunette, and brown hair or stuff like that. You know, this episode showed me that they have wants, needs, dreams, and desires. And because of what's happened to them, they will never achieve those dreams and desires. And I honestly enjoyed this episode from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. So I'll have to give episode 70 of Batman the Animated Series, House and Garden by Paul Dini, a letter B+ letter ranking.
Not bad.
Fantastic work. Let's get into the second half of the episode set we have for tonight. Oh no. Oh no.
What's wrong?
I gotta read this episode?
What?
We gotta do this one?
What?
Oh no. The Terrible Trio.
Oh, yeah. You guys are in for a treat. Mike hates this episode.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Okay, but it's really odd though because Alan Burnett really contributed a lot to this episode, wanting to make an episode like the serials of Batman of old for like the modern day in like the mid-90s. Did it work? Nope, but we're going to read it anyway.
Go for it.
See, 3 wealthy, bored friends of Bruce Wayne decide to seek new thrills by becoming master criminals. The Fox, the Shark, and the Vulture. Masters of land, sea, and air. The Terrible Trio pick Gotham clean. Until they encounter one person who cannot be bought off. Batman. This episode is hot garbage.
Mike, I will give you a few minutes to rant.
Okay. Now, this episode, as exactly as it says, Alan Burnett wanted to bring to life the old serials he saw when he was a kid of Batman fighting no-name heroes with very shallow motives for a very interesting thing or whatever. Basically, the villains are, okay, the villains thing is clever. We got the Fox, the Shark, and the Vulture. Three of nature's most deadliest animals.
Yep.
We see them breaking into a place to steal something and then giving the guards some money from the safe before escaping. They have a decent fight with Batman and Robin at the start of the episode. We see 3 dude bro friends who are clearly hanging out together with Bruce, who's clearly annoyed by it. I just love, okay, Bruce is holding a gun in this episode. Now, there's only been very, very few occasions where I think Bruce holding any gun of any sort is okay. Now, believe it or not, like, okay, Arkham Knight, he was using a gadget that was non-lethal. I could totally see him using the gun in Arkham Knight. Then you have Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, where he's, like, using guns in a futuristic hypothetical setting. None of that stuff was canon. It was only a possible future. But this, he's holding a gun and shooting targets in the air. Because you're like, yo, that's what rich people did back then.
And that pisses you off?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But it's normal, though.
He's shooting something. Because
yeah, but it's like, not a person.
I know, but he's not fighting crime. He's not being productive. He's just being Bruce Wayne. And everyone, they didn't even bat an eye the fact that he's picking up a gun. One of those guys should have mentioned something, hey, Bruce, you sure you're okay to be around guns after you know your folks kick the bucket? And like, I would have loved to see Bruce beat this dude in like the nose with the butt of his gun.
Okay,
like,
maybe I can forgive that, but come on,
like,
dude.
I can't see past it. And it's
Mike really has a set opinion here.
These guys complain about their problems that don't matter. Like the fact of the matter is, I don't give a rat's ass about rich people problems. I got my own problems. If you want to know something, you want to have a problem, give me $30,000. Then I'll complain to you about a problem. But then, of course, we go through their escapades. They're basically bored with their rich lives, and they steal things because it's fun. It's like, I fucking hate all of you. I wish I could cut off your pinky fingers and feed them to pigs. Maybe then you'd have an actual problem like the rest of us. Talk about car payments and divorces and stuff like that. Like then they're talking to this girl, all right? She's basically one like one of Bruce's friends. Like she's like going out of town. Like her father's going out of town. They decide to rob the place. They decide to rob the place because they hate the girl's father. And like they like do that, and then they take stuff that can easily be identified if it's sold, all right? And basically, Batman chases after them in a slow-ass car. It's the Batmobile. It should be able to run down anything off the road, kill these fools, episode over. But no, the story keeps going. The story somehow keeps going. And then basically, what happens is the three douchebags decide to take the hot chick. It's clear they want to force him with this woman. I'm just waiting for it to happen. I am waiting for it. And then they decide to go on a weekend trip, right? And then, like, Batman's trying to figure out exactly who these, like, guys are. He finds out because it's pretty obvious. The Bat computer Alfred could figure out who these three guys are after all that happened. And then they decide to do something else. They go to the resort, and then she sees that the ring, one of the rings they stole from her dad's house. She finds out that they are the robbers, and then they just calmly talk her down and say, "We're not bad guys. We were just bored." I hate this episode. And basically, and then they try to convince her that it was the right thing to do. Then they knock her out, talk about killing her. It's like, okay, you guys were very low before. You're in hell now. That's how low you is. And basically, though, the only satisfying thing about this episode is Batman beating these three guys into a pulp. Because as much as I already have a bad feeling about Batman beating up on ordinary people, these guys deserve it. Rich people are not ordinary people. That's exactly what it is. Like when finally Batman gets to the he's fighting them on a mountain, right? He's fighting them like this, like, doing all that stuff like that. And then they gets to the fox, and he says, "I'll pay you money." Yeah, it's like, I mean, I love it because the synopsis tells it exactly what it is. Batman cannot be bought off because he's already rich. He's the one rich person in the world that isn't terrible. He's and then basically maybe that's why they're called the Terrible Trio. They might as well be called the Terrible White Privileged. That's exactly what we should be calling them. Then basically Batman beats up the guys, sends them to jail, and the only catharsis I get out of it is when the leader is the only one of the three guys we see in prison, right? Then basically he keeps complaining about his parents will bail him out. He isn't one of these people. He's not supposed to be here. The only cathartical thing in this is the very ending shot of the movie when he's in a stanky ass prison cell with crap leaking out from beneath the toilet, and his cellmate looking like he's about to rape him up the butt. That's the only good catharsis to it. It's like, thank you, Batman. Thank you for being the Dark Knight that our society desperately needs. Okay, it's done.
I don't know if you guys heard me, but yeah, this is just laughable to me. He's ticked about this episode.
I hate it so much.
I find it okay.
It's, oh god.
I mean, is it great? No. Is it awful? In my opinion, no. You've heard him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take over for a bit.
Okay.
I feel this episode, I mean, concept wise, it looks cool and seems fine, but him not getting past the Bruce Wayne target thing, he's literally aiming for a clay target. It's not like he's aiming for a person. Good lord.
I mean, yeah, okay, basically I just looked it up in my notes on IMDb. A bunch of other reviewers complained about Bruce holding the gun in this episode too. I'm not alone here.
Anyways,
okay, believe it or not though, Bruce Timm has gone on record saying he regrets green lighting this episode.
I can sort of see that
because I feel like he never made it.
Because I feel like there are some parts of this episode that I feel like could have gotten a rewrite, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Is it? Again, do I think it's good? No, but do I think it's the worst thing in the world? Unlike this guy who ranted for like 5 minutes, or 5 to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
Were you counting the clock timer?
Sort of.
Oh my god.
But
okay.
Look,
you want to know what is actually something that I did just look up that I technically won't be looking at a lot of stuff, is that one of the lines in this episode was actually homaged later on in the DC animated universe by Darkseid.
Oh.
The leader of the Terrible Trio, the Fox, says, "That's where you belong, old man, at my feet." Darkseid said a similar thing to Superman, and I believe it was either I think it was season 2 of Justice League. This is where you belong, Superman, under my heel. I can appreciate that. Everything else, I would never see this episode again if we didn't have to see the whole show.
Alright, so me personally, I rate this episode as it's meh at best, and I feel like with a few writing rewrites, I feel like it would be at best an alright episode. So for now, I'm the one that's nice to it like usual, and give it maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. Mike, how would you rate this, what you call hot garbage?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's one of the worst episodes of the entire series.
You think it's the worst?
No.
Really?
Batman in my basement is definitely one of the worst. Like, this one is slightly better, but this one made me more mad than, like, that one did. Because I can forgive annoying children, because, like, children already irk me in television and in movies and crap like that, but at least I can see the benefit of having children in a kid's show.
And at the time of this recording, this is him coming off watching the newest Home Alone movie.
Yeah, basically. So I can forgive that sometimes. But the Terrible Trio is an episode I simply cannot forget. Lazy writing, inconsistent characterization, and the worst villains Batman has ever fought. We will see stuff because out of every villain Batman has ever fought in any incarnation I have ever seen, any villain would have been better than these guys. Anybody at all. That mouse, that garbage can, this flower pot, I basically said anything would have been better than these guys. So, I'll give episode 71 of Batman the Animated Series, The Terrible Trio, a C letter grading.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I thought you were giving like a D or something.
No. Like it's definitely not D plus worthy. It's C. At best, I hate it, but the fact of the matter is, it's not that low. You know what I'm saying? It basically C is like the lowest. Like this show can go D D plus and C is in the lowest category of the show.
Okay, moving on.
That's where it basically goes from there.
Okay,
so now we got to get to the remaining 4 episodes, and thank goodness all of them are better than this.
Thank God.
With episode 72. Harlequinade, once again by Mr. Paul Dini.
Oh, this is an interesting episode.
The Joker steals an atomic bomb, and it is up to Batman and Robin to find and stop him.
Wait. Atomic bomb?
He's got an atom bomb.
Oh,
that he's
God.
gonna blow up Gotham City.
Oh, God. Moving on.
Since there is no time to spare, the duo enlists the help of Harley Quinn to track Joker down. Throughout the episode, it is briefly discussed how Harley met Joker, but not too much though. We need to save that for season 4.
Oh boy.
This episode is a barrel of laughs.
This one is
all the way
funny.
through.
This is like one of Harley's best episodes.
I would definitely say so, without a single shadow of a doubt, my friend.
Yeah, this is the one where she rides to the Batmobile with Batman, right?
Yes.
That one scene alone is just so great. I want to listen to the radio. Don't. And then they crash, and then I think this is the most pissed I've ever seen Batman in the show. He looks at Harley and with a stern face. He looks at her and goes, "Listen and listen good. You don't touch anything, say anything, or do anything unless I tell you. Got it?"
Yes, sir. Can I come out of hiding now?
I'm like, wow, Kevin Conroy's got range.
That's actually one of my favorite Batman lines right there.
Yeah, it's really good.
I would definitely love it if they could record Kevin Conroy telling the people at like a convention as soon as they come in, you don't touch anything, say anything, or do anything unless I tell you. Got it? Yes. Enjoy the convention. That would have been so.
Other than that, this episode is really cool because Batman has to actually enlist Harley's help to find Joker, which is a bit rare.
And it's so funny. Believe it or not, the title is actually a play on the British theater word. Harlequinade is a term in which the Harlequin clown character is the main character. And that's exactly what this episode is.
Yeah, because Harley steals the show there. Because even though Robin is also there to help Batman, Harley steals everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Like there's a lot of stuff in this episode, a lot of fun facts to be talking about.
Yeah, some of her funny lines are great too. Like one of my favorite Harley lines from this episode was this: "Ha! And here you thought I was just another bald, blonde, dumb bimbo. Well, the joke's on you. I'm not even a real blonde." I'm thinking to myself, what?
To be fair, Paul Dini would later go on record to say that she was joking. She is a natural blonde. She was like, trying to give the audience a second wind.
Oh, thank God.
Which I thought was really funny.
But still, that is funny.
Yeah, definitely much so. Okay, so basically, the whole episode is Batman and Robin going around Gotham, following Harley to the Joker. And they lead them to some really funny spots that actually delve into Harley's role as Joker's henchwench. And
Henchwench. Wow, never thought I'd hear you say that.
That's actually one of my favorite words to use from back in the day. It was but basically, so like they go to all the clubs, all the hideouts. I love the scene in which Harley brings Batman to the place with the hyenas, and we get to see the hyenas.
That was funny.
It's so great. She actually thinks she's their mother, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's just like, I love how she plays the adorable, abused mother figure so well. It's like taking care of the babies because the dad's off doing something or other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the Joker's just having a barrel of laughs.
Oh yeah, just dropping the mayor into a pool, gagging him and tying him to a chair, and just bobbing him up and down. It's like, this is so freaking funny. And I love it how he says, even if like there is like no ransom, he's gonna nuke all of Gotham and himself just for a laugh.
Because he's like, that nuts!
That's genius.
Yeah, and then there's the whole ending of the episode where they find the Joker, and Joker takes Harley away. It's like let's get going. Like, what about all our friends, Ivy and Two-Face and Hat Guy and Lizard Man and Puppet Head?
And what about them? Okay, so basically for context, that's because like they're like basically Harley does betray Batman and Robin after they find the Joker.
Quinn, we had a deal. Deal's up, B-Man.
Basically, she jumps into Joker's arms. It's really cute. You would see honestly.
Yeah.
Basically, Robin pulls the ultimate 180 and brings up the point that if Joker was going to nuke Gotham, he was going to leave Harley to be nuked as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my god.
And then it says, don't forget about your little pets.
Yeah, he remembers. Batman is amazing.
Yeah.
See, like, I hate it.
And Joker just pushes on, like, I'll buy you a goldfish. Let's go.
Okay, I love that too, because remember, she hates fish.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that makes it even better when
God.
they're actually fighting like a married couple. Then she kicks him in the face. I absolutely love that. Oh, but like we gotta like rewind a scene like before that when they're like running out of the club. After Harley sings a pretty funny song.
That song was good.
Not gonna lie, that song was very funny. Not gonna lie. And then basically like we have the big fight scene in the hideout before they go to the Joker with the atom bomb. They like run out. They like beat up all the guys. Harley also beats up the guys, and it's honestly very funny. She says, "Batgirl eats your heart out," and then Robin says, "What was she before she went nuts?"
It's best you don't know.
Well, no, he like does say a criminal psychiatrist.
And I bet Robin said he's like,
typical. It's like,
he's like,
it's like, who could have guessed? It's like, Lord Lester is great. Yeah,
but the ending of the episode is interesting because Harley contemplates on killing the Joker.
Oh yeah, and that's like the thing is because when like Joker tries to escape with his goons, like Harley actively goes on a feminine-fueled rampage and just blows up everything in her path.
Yeah, because the joke's on you.
I wish that women went on rampages more like this, honestly.
Really?
Because we don't see it happen. Like, it's usually just one and done. They get mad and then it's swept away. Right. I like that because it's more accurate to what actually happens. But I love zany, over-the-top stuff like this because we don't get to see it as much as we do without Paul Dini's assistant.
Yeah, his writing is great.
Everything is on fire. Everything is on fire, and she grabs the gun of the plane he was using to escape with, and then, like, she points it at him, and I love this encounter so much.
Yes!
You wouldn't dare, you don't have the guts, not even a million. She starts to cry, so it's like, oh my god, this is like this like real emotion from not real characters, and I love it, not in a million years, and she pulls the trigger. And the gun is empty. And it's like, oh my god, she would have killed this dude had there been a bullet in this gun. It's like, oh my god. But instead of doing what everybody thinks he's going to do, the Joker actually welcomes her back. And it's like, you two sickos are made for each other.
Yeah, and he's like, baby, you're the greatest. I'm like,
that's actually another reference to the show The Honeymooners, which is another one of my father's favorite shows from the 1950s, showing television's most toxic relationship before Joker and Harley. What was the character's name, if I can... Oh, yeah, Ralph. Jackie Gleason from The Honeymooners. he would always say, "Baby, you're the greatest" at the end of the episode. But everybody knows in every single episode he would always threaten to beat his wife because she was annoying him. And that was considered comedy in the 50s. Like, basically, every single dude would do his catchphrase after watching, like, the Honeymooners. "One of these days, Alice, one of these days, to the moon!"
Oh, God.
Like, that is, I mean, I feel bad, but I did laugh at that crap when I was younger. Like,
yeah, but you were younger. You didn't know.
I laughed it alongside my father.
I'm sure some people did.
Oh my God! But in the end, Harlequinade is a blast.
We can both agree. This is another one of our favorite episodes.
Definitely so. Coming off very strong. Another one of Harley's and like Paul Dini using Harley to her very best, showing the relationship of his amazing dialogue with Batman and Joker. Everything just flows so well, and you could watch it a million times.
Yeah, I agree. And rating in that, and going into that, I rate this episode. I mean, I was spoiled by some good episodes, but this was also another solid one. So at best, I have to give Harlequinade around maybe like an 8.5, almost a 9 out of 10.
Very, very good, my friend. This is definitely one of Harley's best episodes of the entire series. May not of the entire series, but definitely of Harley stories. Definitely one of her best.
Oh yeah.
The comedy, the action, the dialogue, the animation, and then in the fight scenes, especially with the ending shot of all the fire burning around them. Everything just works in a chaotic mess of an honest-to-God true love story.
Yep.
Possibly. Maybe. Okay. I'd have to give Harlequinade, episode 72 of Batman the Animated Series, a strong B+ letter rating.
All right, nice.
Next episode was also commissioned a story by Alan Burnett, Time Out of Joint, the sequel to the Clock King episode.
Oh yeah.
The Clock King returns to continue his vendetta against Mayor Hill. This time, the time-obsessed criminal hopes to murder Hill with the help of a stolen invention that allows him to warp time and travel at super speed. Securing another device from its creator, Batman and Robin take on the Clock King in a furious high-speed battle for the mayor's life.
Okay.
Yeah, as we mentioned, if you guys watched our previous episode on the Clock King for Batman the Animated Series, we never found him all that compelling a villain.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, maybe I can get a reasoning behind a vendetta against Mary Hill, because I'm sure everyone doesn't really like certain politicians.
At some point in their lives.
This is the weird way to do it. Like, you have a vendetta against the mayor, yet to do that, you take a device that lets you warp time around and basically turn you into the Flash.
I mean, yeah,
what?
We have to factor in timing at some point or another, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's a time-based villain.
Yeah.
You have to do something with it at some point.
He likes keeping time. He isn't a Time Lord.
I know, but the fact of the matter is, I did enjoy the first Clock King episode. It was.
Yeah, the first Clock King episode was good. This felt a bit like a downgrade.
It was definitely a downgrade.
But to be fair, though, would you consider this episode awful?
No, definitely.
No, I wouldn't either.
Definitely not.
It's okay.
Very much like Avatar, in which it was decent enough that we don't remember much of what happened except for the sillier moments.
Yeah.
We see that Mayor Hill's life is still in danger because the Clock King's still trying to kill him. The Clock King's been staying with a scientist miles away from Gotham to perfect some time technology or something like that.
Yeah.
It seemed very, very convenient. Of course,
a little too convenient.
Of course, the Clock King steals the time-traveling device and travels at super speed because he can stop time and zips across the city and stuff like that. So he plants a bomb to kill the mayor at this sort of opening or whatever. Batman discovers what's going on about what happened. The creator gives the device to him, and they decide to zip across town. But there's worried that they're not going to make it in time. The final fight is pretty interesting because it basically takes place at super fast speed, but everywhere else is slow motion.
Yeah.
So basically, we have to take that into consideration. It's okay, the concept is fine. The third act is pretty decent. It's just that, well, he was only really a standalone villain. There's not really much you can keep a story about a guy named the Clock King.
Yeah,
going.
at best, if I had to describe this episode in one word, unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, I really do like that you liked the character enough to try it again. It's just that you barely passed the first time. Why would you want to take the same test again?
Yeah,
Believe it or not, like, the Clock King in the Adam West Batman series was way more intimidating than this guy.
Ooh, that's a low blow.
And this guy trapped Batman in a giant hourglass.
Yeah, because that's always fun. Did sand fall on there?
Yeah, basically like trying to drown him in sand. And this one, the physics are like a bit weird and wonky, but
it's DC.
Yeah, it's like your DC. It's not the worst episode in the world, but as a sequel to a pretty good episode from season 1-ish, it's definitely a downgrade.
Yeah, so if I had to rate this, it's not bad, but I feel like this episode just couldn't have. If this episode wasn't greenlit and wasn't written, I feel like the series would have still gone on okay.
Yeah.
So at best, maybe I have to give this episode maybe like a 7 out of 10.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely a bit like low blow on this, my friends. A few fun facts for the episode. The word time is spoken 12 times in 22 minutes. Which I'm thinking to myself, okay,
actually,
that's actually very strange. But I do like this tiny little thing. When the Clock King plants the bomb to kill the crowd and the mayor towards the end of the episode, he whistles the funeral march. You know, because that thing that people play at funerals sometimes, like signal the dead. Basically, seeing as how the mayor's time has run out. Just basically to say. So basically, the episode has definitely not been kind. It's basically Batman and Robin fighting a Time Lord, and definitely with a very anticlimactic ending. So So very not too many deep things here, except a cool plot that's figured out pretty quickly, sadly. Yeah. So I would have to give episode 73 of Batman the Animated Series Time Out of Joint a C+ letter grading. All right, we have 2 more episodes to go, my friends. Let's get it through. Episode 74, Catwalk. Once again, written by Paul Dini.
Wow, that's
a lot of Paul's work today. Let's see if we can keep it up next time. Anxious to take up her old ways as Catwoman, Selena Kyle Wait, hold on. Let me just start that over again. Anxious to take up her old ways as Catwoman, Selena Kyle joins forces with the ventriloquist to humiliate socialite Veronica Vreeland.
Oh no.
But the real victim is Catwoman herself, who has been secretly set up by Scarface to take the fall for yet another robbery. Batman has to intercede before the furious feline makes things worse by killing the double-talking ventriloquist.
Okay.
So Catwalk is good, but it's not better than that.
I think I know a reason for that. Veronica Vreeland is there. Because as far as I know, I feel like it's a pattern. Every episode that she's in, it's either okay or eh.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's like, it's so funny because she always tries to do good things, but every time she's here, she drags everything down, and it's not her fault.
But I will admit, though, Catwoman and the ventriloquist, odd pairing, but I could see it work.
I know.
But I feel like it wasn't all there. It didn't live up to its potential.
Definitely not. I definitely would have to say, though, I keep forgetting to mention her name, and forgive me if I am pronouncing this wrong, Adrienne Barbeau as the voice actress of Catwoman, as someone who worked with John Carpenter so many times to make so many fantastic movies.
Yeah. Did she work with him on the Halloween movies?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, looking at her thing, she did many stuff like Star Trek Deep Space. She's actually done a lot of things. Like, I'm pretty sure she was in Escape from New York.
All right.
If that's my most recent thing. She does a phenomenal job playing Catwoman in all of these seasons. I just felt like shouting her out because I've been missing it all this time. So yes, Catwoman has been... I mean, Selena, even though she's been ordered by law not to be Catwoman anymore, otherwise she'll go to the real big house, she has the itching of a thief, which is very oddly obvious because once you've stolen one thing, you can never really get rid of the urge to steal again.
That is true, which is like, it's very addictive.
Exactly. When they go to the endangered species place at a I believe it's I'm starting to remember now. Veronica Vreeland's ancestor hunted all of these animals to extinction, keeping the pelts in the museum.
Yeah.
And of course, Selena Kyle hates that because there's an extinct cat in there, and basically saying is how Veronica Vreeland can't help it because it's in the past, and what's in the past should stay in the past, and the future should be better than the past or whatever.
Well,
and of course,
she's not wrong.
And of course, Selena is like, what if you can't move on from the past? What if you're always meant to be stuck there forever?
There it is.
And that is Selena Kyle's biggest character flaw. She can't move forward.
Right.
She desperately wants to, but at the end of the day, she's not an animal to be caged. She is a free woman taking whatever she wants and never apologizing. It's what Batman loves about her so much, but it's also what always will drive them apart. And I love how she feels desperate enough for a thrill that she teams up with Scarface. It's like, dang,
Scarface of all villains.
We haven't seen him for majorly outside of trial for a while, and I love it when Scarface looks at her and says, "I thought I saw a putty tat." It's like, yes, Warner Brothers. Thank you
because
so much.
because there was some Looney Tunes stuff going on during the time because the show was still on Fox Kids.
Oh my goodness.
Yikes.
There's actually a lot of Jungle Book references in this episode.
Really?
Believe it or not, like when Selena refers to herself as the cat who walked by herself. This is a reference to the cat that walked by himself from the author of the Jungle Book, Just So Stories.
Oh, wow.
Which is actually pretty interesting because it shows the jungle-ish fury. Like, Selena is an animal that's going extinct. The Catwoman has officially gone extinct, but is now eventually coming back to the spotlight in this episode.
I guess that kind of fits.
To help Scarface and stuff like that.
I guess it kind of fits.
Oh my goodness. And I really do love because apparently Bruce Timm really does love this episode, saying as how it was definitely one of the best ones that they had to work off of.
That's
going over there. I will definitely say this though, one of my favorite lines from this episode is the final scene. Batman must choose between arresting Catwoman or rescuing a priceless stuffed Tasmanian tiger. Because remember, the whole plan was for Catwoman to break into the museum and steal the tiger back,
right.
and also get some stuff for Scarface. Basically, it's like you scratch my back, I scratch
your back.
Catwoman gets the tiger out and brings it to Scarface, but he's going to sell the pelts for as much as he can. Catwoman, feeling betrayed, now tries to kill him for the rest of the episode, and it's so crazy because all the while, ventriloquist is acting so innocent, and Batman's trying to stop her, but he doesn't know if he should stop her. It's so confusing and somewhat funny. Obviously, it's not really one of Paul Dini's funniest of works, but the episode ends when we get to the big part of the climax, and Batman must choose to either arrest Catwoman or save the skin of the endangered tiger from the museum.
And what does Batman do?
From being destroyed. Catwoman taunts him by saying, "The lady or the tiger." That's actually a line from the '60s show. It's actually one of my favorite lines from one of Catwoman's episodes when she tempted him. Batman saying
hang on. Which Catwoman was it? Was it Julie Newmar?
Yeah, it was Julia Newmar's Catwoman. It's actually one of my favorite Batman stories of all time. I honestly forget which Batman saves. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it was the tiger.
Had to have been, yeah.
Because he lets her get away. Unfortunately, she's caught as Catwoman and has to face the trials again.
Wah wah.
But it's so weird because at the end of the day, she actually accepts it because Selena Kyle realizes that pretending to be something she wasn't was not the life that she wanted to live. Even though Bruce was so dead set on being with her, she made her choice to be the costumed villainous thief.
Yep.
And it's so sad, honestly, because this is really the turning point in the relationship with them, because their stuff would never be the same again for the rest of the series afterwards.
Very true.
I would say this is not one of Paul Dini's best episodes, but I would definitely say that he put on a very good show nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree. So how would you rate this episode?
I would, definitely say, even though this was not the funniest episode ever, it did touch on stuff that needed to be addressed with Catwoman, eventually to bring the long storyline of her supposedly going straight to a close.
Yeah.
And of course, providing some really good action scenes, a few good jokes here and there with the pootie tat. And of course, we're bringing some really awesome, loving scenes with Batman and Bruce, with Selina and Catwoman. So, very good. Not much more I can say to that. I would give episode 74, Catwalk, a letter B ranking.
Yeah, Catwalk is an interesting episode because I agree with mostly what you said. Like, if writing's good, it delves more in Catwoman's character, and I like that. Scarface as the other villain, it's okay, but I mean, like, I still think this episode is at best alright, and nothing too groundbreaking or spectacular. At best, it's like, okay, so at best, I have to give it maybe an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, very, very fair. Okay. This is the final episode for this episode of Behind the Screens tonight. We will be doing episode 75, Bane.
Oh, yeah.
Goody, goody, goody. Batman comes face to face with his most powerful adversary yet, the chemically enhanced assassin, Bane, a.k.a. Antonio Diego. Originally hired by Rupert Thorne to kill Batman, Bane plans on taking control of Thorne's criminal empire once Batman is destroyed. It is a fight to the death with all of Gotham in the balance, as Batman takes on the man who has vowed to break the Bat.
Now, Bane is interesting. He is honestly one of my favorite Batman villains.
Hands down, mine as well.
This guy, he's like Batman on crack. He is just as strength in muscles as he is in brains, because this guy is smart.
Oh my god, yes. A very muscular, luchador-esque individual, very powering, very towering over everybody he goes near. Very much, it's not the most intimidating look, because he's mostly just wearing a luchador mask. He's got a big black tank top on,
and
big bustling arms, but you know what? He is the ultimate muscle.
Yeah. And he is like a literal bane to everything holy, as the comics put it.
Bane of humanity.
That too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But comparing, this incarnation of Bane is very much like the comics. He's a hulking brute, but he's also a smart guy. He's not
definitely.
stupid.
Indeed, I loved everything about this guy. It was simple but effective, seeing as how Bane was only a very recently created character.
Yeah, because it was only a couple of years?
Yeah, Bane was created in early 1993, and this episode supposedly went into production around 1994, 1995, so he was a very new character.
Yeah, was that around the time of the Nightfall story?
Yes, basically, correct me if I'm wrong on this, folks, but the Nightfall story was mainly one of Bane's first pushes into the DC universe.
Because in the comics, during that story and leading up to that, he was able to deduce Batman's identity in 1 year faster than anybody else could ever do it.
Yeah, definitely so.
So it proves that a lot of Batman's Gotham City citizens that he protects are really dumb.
Yeah, basically, the lead up to Bane's introduction is honestly pretty well done. Batman is shown that Rupert Thorne has a new criminal in town, because he's seeing that there's a threat level.
That's not you.
Nope, and basically that it's something that he's never felt before. Showing going all over the place, running all over, collecting clues, seeing the damage that Bane leaves in his wake, all up until finding Croc beaten in the sewers, and it's that's something you realize, because Croc has been the muscle of the show up to this point, and to see him this battered and bruised, Batman starts to wonder what the heck is going on.
Yeah, and this shows another feat of strength, because in the comics, Bane was not only famous for breaking Batman's back, he also seriously injured Croc by breaking both of his arms.
Which is nuts, too. It's oh my god, this is actually really
Bane
awesome.
is you do not want to mess with this guy.
One thing that I would also like to point out is that something that I'm not sure if I pointed out in previous episodes, is that Rupert Thorne in all of his previous appearances had been played by John Vernon, the headmaster of the college in Animal House.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Which is honestly pretty gosh darned awesome. This is actually the only time in any of the DC animated universe shows that Bane's face is revealed, actually, because lo and behold, most of the episode is simply a fight for the lives of Batman's friends. Because as we said in the recap, Bane plans on taking over Rupert Thorne's empire once everything is all said and done, and it honestly works to his benefit because Bane breaks through walls, tosses Batman around like a rag doll. Batman's strength and speed and intellect is put to the test when he feels an enemy that is indeed more powerful than him in every way.
Oh yeah, and it tends to, and also it comes to a real head in the climax of the episode
on a massive sinking vessel because
and not to mention the fact Rupert Thorne's assistant Candace goes with Bane's plan.
Yeah, basically saying she's totally in. She loves that Mexican food. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, because that's
she really loves it. But then basically it's like, okay, so they kidnap Robin, right?
Yeah.
We're pretty sure halfway through the story after Bane seriously beats Batman for all that time.
And not to mention the fact Bane also tears the Batmobile to shreds.
Oh, he does. He completely demolishes the car. He demolishes the car. He takes Robin prisoner on the ship, saying that you have to defeat me in a certain amount of time, otherwise the boy will drown in the sea. And it's like, okay, so it's a fight with a time limit. And it's like, oh wow. So, but the fight takes up a really good portion of the episode.
Oh yeah.
I would be lying if I said it's not. Because it is entertaining to watch. It's just that it was probably a lot better in the comic storyline.
That is true, yeah.
It feels like it was watered down for the TV show.
Again, this is a kids' cartoon, so they couldn't go all the way.
I know, but that means that they're robbing us of the full experience. They couldn't give us a true amazing fight between Batman and Bane like in the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, despite our problems with Dark Knight Rises, the fight Batman has with Bane in the middle of the film and at the end, those both are great fights.
Definitely so. This one is pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
And Robin kind of helps out win in the end, I guess.
Yeah, because he definitely makes the final blow because it definitely helps that even though Bane is the strongest villain there is, basically she's showing off his big muscles and his big biceps while punching and throwing and kicking Batman all over the place.
Yeah.
It shows that Batman has the one thing that Bane will never truly be able to have: help. And that's exactly it. Because
but what Robin does, I don't know what to think.
Oh my god!
The fact,
remind me, right?
The fact he entices Candace, I'm thinking to myself. So,
oh my god!
So
yeah.
the girl assistant of a crime boss is gonna dive in and get Robin, get a superhero out, and she doesn't think that he's gonna punch her. I'm like, girl, I'm sorry, that's just not how you do it.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm surprised she's able to get down and dirty. Or down and soaked, if that makes any more sense.
Believe it or not, the producers of the show actually were not going to originally put Bane into the series because they didn't think he was worthy of being in it.
I guess considering he was recently creatively fresh, I guess it makes sense.
They said that Bane was a one-trick pony, which of course, seeing they're not entirely wrong.
I mean, given the fact he's strong, especially because of the drug he's on, Venom.
Yeah,
which that stuff. Oh boy,
it's crazy when you see him get the hang of it. The one thing I will always love about any incarnation of Bane is his hulking up sequence.
Oh yeah, whenever you press the button to activate the Venom, you know stuff is about to go down.
Luchador, mother, it's awesome. But I gotta say, this is a very testosterone-filled story. Which,
yeah,
of course,
I mean, it was the '90s. They had a lot of testosterone-filled stuff like that.
Very much so. Bane landing in Gotham, establishing his dominance over Batman. Yep. Batman, of course, winning over in the end. A perfect 3-act struggle to a very mano, peaches and cream, pickles and ice cream type of story. But then, of course, the ending after Batman has beaten the Bane, and of course showing Candace off for threatening to overthrow Rupert Thorne.
And Thorne gets ticked. He was like,
it was a very funny episode. Ending to this story. I just wish we could have gotten a tiny bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe not have played it safe with this really critical part of Batman's story.
Yeah, considering the fact we're dealing with a fresh, newer comic book character here, it's a little hard to deal with.
Exactly.
But still, this episode proved to be a solid introduction for Bane. not just because of comics, but also for newer fans, like who saw Batman because of this show.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you did. Definitely so. All about that.
Yeah,
So
and
basically-
also they were infamously introduced to his incarnation in Batman and Robin. But we can talk about that when we get there.
can't wait till we're basically just setting you all up for watching future
Yeah.
videos 24/7.
Yeah,
But of
so
course, thank you guys for sitting through with us for another series of episodes from Batman the Animated Series.
and Bane
Even though-
rated it, and Bane.
Oh, of course, I completely forgot the rating.
Yeah, but I have to say, Bane was an alright episode, but like you said, I wish we had more of the fight and kind of was more like we had more of what we got from the comics. So
Yeah.
overall, with that, I give it, and given what Robin does at the end, I give it like a best like an 8.5.
An 8.5, yeah. I felt like this was a very solid story overall. It was really awesome to see an animated version of Bane straight from the comics, all that stuff. I just wish they took more risks.
That's
honestly,
fair.
because Bane
They
is the,
played it too safe.
yeah, definitely so. They had most of the pieces there. They just didn't go all the way with it. Which I'm hoping if they had gone all the way with Bane, which they certainly do in all of the future episodes.
Oh, yeah.
That he takes place in.
Yep.
It would have been much more better then. But of course, as a setup to those, this was definitely worth it.
Yep.
So I will begrudgingly have to give episode 75 of Batman the Animated Series, Bane, a letter B ranking.
Ah, B for Bane. Very fitting.
Oh yeah, why not? Okay.
But, yeah, that was a good round, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. No. Now I can do the outro. Okay. So basically, thank you all for sitting in for this amazing set of Batman the Animated Series episodes. We will only be doing 3 more sets of these, possibly 4, before we are done with this era of Batman the Animated Series. We will possibly be moving on to another DC animated series afterwards, unless we find another series that we would passionately like to talk about.
Yeah, or warrants talking about.
Definitely so. But stay tuned next week for our next movie review as we move into the second film of the DC Cinematic Universe, 2016's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Strap in, boys and girls, because next week that's going to be an interesting one.
Indeed it is.
But until then, I'm Chris.
I'm Mike.
Have a fantastic night and take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. Adios.